Hi, today I worked in my therapy journal. This is just a few of the pages that I did. I completed a whole bunch of them. So I'll give you a preview at the end, and I will also do another flip through of a journal that I completely finished. This one is not finished yet, and I am going to try to get this done really quickly before my husband gets home, and then it'll be too noisy to finish. So stay with me. So I started off with this page. I had a couple of pages, pieces of paper rather, that I wanted to use, like that Sleeping Beauty over there on the right. And then I had this verse that I wanted to use. So I tried to combine the two and just did some collaging on that page. And I didn't really film all of this because it's pretty straightforward. I just did some, put some letters down from Tim Holtz, and then I started thumbing through the rest of my papers to figure out what I was going to do for the other pages. And silly me, off camera again, I found this envelope in my junk box, which is not really junk, but then again, junk journals are not junk either. Well, anyways, I just started gluing things down, and I wanted to use this. I used this piece of fabric on this in some really pretty lace that I had cut off of a pillowcase that I had. And then I always seem to find a place for dots because I love dots. I think they dress everything up. Glued that down and then found a spot for it. So I thought. I figured this would be a good place for it. I put it there, and then I found this card that I've been trying to do something with. Don't know what it says. I think it's something in German. If anybody knows what it says, let me know. I just kept picking things out of that basket. And, you know, I start off with one thing, just like we all do, and then it doesn't seem to work. But that's the fun of it. I started off with this piece of paper that came from a book that I have, and it's aprons. The book has aprons in it, and I thought it looked perfect there. It just picked up the colors on the other side, and I decided to turn it into a pocket, which may or may not be a good thing. We'll see, because it's a little thin, and this little piece of dotted Swiss left over. Why not put it there? I think it looked good there, stuck it there, and decided that was a done deal. I decided I wanted to use a bulb pin and a little charm that I had in a dish sitting to the side, and that turned out to be a good place for that. These already done Tim Holtz packages that I have, so many of them, I buy them on sale, and then I have no place to put them, only because they look so great and they were on sale. Okay, back to this envelope. See, I ended up putting it in a totally different spot. I like this spot better. Then it kind of posed a problem for me on this side of the paper because I didn't know whether I should glue that envelope down. I still wanted access to it because I had put those Tim Holtz things in there. And, well, I ended up picking up things, trying them, deciding that I didn't like them, got my bird book out again, got my bird book out for the first time in the other journal, and opened it up to the first page and found this sweet bird that I loved. And then what happens? It turns my whole composition idea upside down again, in a happy way, I suppose. And then I decide to use a different route on this collage, this paper. And I love how this turned out. I glued things down, and oh, there goes my bell for the dinner, and my husband's going to be here, and the dog's going to bark in a second. So I decided anyways to glue this down. Oh, there we go. Cue supper. a little music to finish out these 2 pages, and then we'll go on to the next one. So 2 new pages and a whole basket of ideas. I'm going to try to put those 2 together and make something pretty. My first thought was, let's do some greens, and let's use my rub-ons because they're one of my favorites. I have this wallpaper, and I'm just going to make a little pile here, and after put the basket aside and see if I can make something look pretty. I loved this picture, and I wanted so hard to fit this in somewhere. Well, you have to see if I did or not. Gathering papers gets my creativity flowing when I stop pulling things. If there's too many things, then there's too many ideas, and then I can't seem to get anything down on the paper. But if I separate them out into little piles, then sometimes I can get going here. So for this left side, I wanted to just leave it because it's some tea-dyed paper, or it could be some paper that I tried to do some eco-dyeing with. Still not great at doing that, but I wanted to continue with the green. So, put my glove on, try to keep my fingers from peeling, have some kind of reaction to them. Even when I use this art glitter glue, I'm going to try to remember to put my pin in that little pink container because this glue likes to set up really fast. It's a good thing, and then when you lose that little needle pin that goes in there, because you can't use regular pins, you have to use a stainless steel one, otherwise it will rust. Then you have a problem because it doesn't want to come out of the spout. This is a digital that I have made into a digital. Well, I didn't make it, but I purchased it, and it was in my file for use, and then never really knew what to do with. Today I challenged myself. I said, self, you have to use it today. So this is what I did with it. I need to get my little can that I put my papers in next to me, because otherwise I create quite a mess when I am working on a journal, especially if I have too many things out. I have such a mess afterwards, and you would never think that I could create something out of such a mess, but somehow I do. Tearing off these edges, and all this part is looking like it's a little boring, so I think I'm going to speed things up, and then I'm going to put some pretty music with it, because just speeding it up just makes it boring, and I think me continuing to talk makes it a little boring. So let's speed it up and see how this goes for people who are watching. I've got this black and white piece here that I really like. It's just scrapbook paper, I'm going to try to make this little girl work with this collage. But as I'm working it, I'm not liking it. So I get out the Tim Holtz and decide maybe if I put some black and white down in the corner, then maybe that'll change the way things are going for this page. And as I'm looking at it now, I wish that I had have done the first angle, which had the rose on it, but sometimes when you're working on, or sometimes when I'm working on it, with having the, I think it's one dimension, I don't know, or maybe two, I sometimes feel like I'm not getting the whole picture until I see it when I'm editing. But it all worked out, I think. I have this crumpled up paper, and I'm going to put that crumpled up paper in the corner there, because I'm feeling like this page here is the collaging is too far apart, like they're too big. And I found that lace and threw the lace down and thought I would try that again like I did before, and it just didn't seem to want to fit. Now this little bunch of roses here that I had on a thank you card that I feel like I'm repurposing, so I'm happy. And I thought it would go up in the corner very nicely. And then I found this treasure of stamps. This came from an estate sale where the stamps are really old, and I have them mixed in with some newer stamps. Even some stamps that go in books. Not green stamps because they're yellow, I think. Well, who, here we go. That little 3 cluster of stamps that were stuck in the bottom of that envelope perfectly fit up there. And then this envelope, because it's so vintage, I had to use it, and I wanted to display it, and so I made it into a pocket. And I kept the flap looking just the way it is. Sometimes I have trouble decorating real vintagey things because I feel like I'm taken away from it, although when I look at other people's, I really can appreciate it, and it seems like they look great when you decorate the vintage piece. But I guess in this one I didn't give myself permission to do that. Oh, actually I did, and you'll see what I did in the to the envelope, that I felt like it helped bring the pages together. That's always what my goal is here, is to make the 2 pages not, I don't want to say mirror each other, but I want to make them unidentical twins. So I want to make them complement each other. I pulled out my rub-ons, and I am determined that I'm going to find a good spot for them. That little cluster in the bottom there where that open space is, I'm not liking that. So I'm getting out my paint, my gesso, and my paintbrush, and I'm going to try to push back these corners, or these edges, not corners, these edges, to make them sink back into the paper, so the page, so that they don't look like I just glued them down. I want them to look like they just kind of laid there and complemented each other. And then I got a little heavy-handed with the yellow, because the yellow mixed in to the white, and I wasn't really thinking that was a good idea. But there is some yellow in the flower in the centers, so I didn't stress too much about that. Just little splashes of white all over the page made me feel like it was a little more vintage looking than just, most of that is, you know, things that I have that are not vintage. I can't think of what word I'm trying to use, but what I want to say is that they're not vintage, so that's what I'm going to keep saying. So I'm going to use this Mod Podge because that can be a glue too, and I'm going to just glue this trio of stamps down here and make that their home, because at first I wasn't sure if the old meets new was really complementing each other, but I decided that they would work together well. So that's that. I'm going to let them dry, let that paint dry, and I'm going to look at this wallpaper that I have and see if that will fit to try to tighten up this collage. But I'm not liking the way that looks. So back to working on the other page. Sometimes when I don't know what to do with one page, then I go to the other page, or I pull out a whole new color. And this I thought was going to work, but I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, it doesn't look like it's going to work. No, I guess it didn't work. Since I'm doing a voiceover, this lace was so beautiful. I wanted to use it, but that piece was too big of a chunk. Cutting it down to a smaller size allowed me to use it and allowed me to display the beauty rather than having it overwhelm the whole page, and then it would no longer be beautiful. This is where the art glitter glue works perfect, because it's kind of sticky and it glues down quite quickly. So there's the nice piece of lace finally finding a spot in the composition. Now let's see what we're going to do with the bottom here, because this spot is not where it should be. I'm not feeling the space is I feel like it needs to be filled somehow, and I didn't want to put another piece of paper over it because it just felt like it was gonna keep chunking up the collage and making it look too unsettling. And sometimes when I don't know what to do, I'll do something else, and this is what I did. I thought I was going to make some words up there. I wasn't sure what, and when I was looking through these rub-ons, I found this perfect verse to throw up in that corner on that green, and it fit in the spot perfectly. Now I'm still getting used to these rub-ons. Sometimes I use them, and then sometimes they rub on where I don't want them to rub on, like right here. So then that makes me have to figure out what to do with that. But it's, you know, it's just another way to get creative, I guess. Well, this little heart jumped out at me. I always told my kids and my grandkids, when you see a heart, it means Mommy loves you, or it means Grammy loves you. So I threw that heart down there, and I feel like it kind of pinned down all of that I was worried about not looking like it was cohesive. Taking out these stamps again and wanted to use those stamps right there, because I purchased them a while ago and I haven't really used them that much. I think I might have used them in one journal, but I wanted to use them, and there we go. mission accomplished. That looks good just to use one right there, and it ties in with that eco dyed paper there. And now I'm going to turn my attention to the other side, I believe. Yeah, not just yet, because I found this piece on the floor. I was looking for something. I think I was looking to plug something in, and I found this piece that strayed out of my basket onto the floor, and it's some kind of antique page from I don't know where it's from, really. It was in my basket, and it fell out in there. Now that feels good. I like how that's going. I feel like it needs something else, though, as I look at it. I'm not sure yet. So rather than fret about it, I'm gonna choose to take out this photo again and see if it works here. Do I want to hide it in there? No. I don't feel like it displays that little girl in a way that it complements the picture and the pages. So, no, I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use that. So I thumb through my little basket. No, don't. Oh, what's this? Oh, well, I like this picture. I like this picture, and it is torn on the bottom. Dare I tear the rest of it off? Yeah, I did. I am going to see if this works on this page. So far, not liking that. Oh, I have this envelope full of corner holder thingies that they used to put in all of the photo albums, but I cannot figure out how to put them on. They don't just slide in to the corner. I don't know if it's because the glue has stuck to them. I tried every which way to peel it back. Couldn't do that. That was just tearing it. Okay, let's look at the directions. No. Okay. More directions? No. Maybe I just need to pull some other ones out of the envelope and see if they work. I'm going to keep... Well, will it go into the corner? No, it will not poke into the corner. There's no hole for it to slide into. So... I'll put those away for another time. This black and white piece keeps speaking to me. I think I'm going to use it inside this envelope. So I'll tear this down and get that to fit in there. And there. Now this lady. What's this lady's name? I don't know what her name is. I want to give her a name though. I want to say Gloria for some reason. This is some old cash register tape from my friend's mom, who had she had an estate sale, and I picked that up, and that was just put aside for whenever I need it. And I needed it because I found it in my pile. I'm trying to make a good background for Gloria here, and it's proven to be a challenge. So I'm going to have to keep digging. And I like, this is just some Hobby Lobby paper. It's got some torn edges, and the wheels are turning now. Now I've got a plan, and this is what we're going to go with. It's funny how I'm working on one side. I find this envelope with those calendar numbers on it, and now I'm working on the other side again. I thought it was all finished, but when I found this number, I decided it needed to be on that page, and I seem to do that. I go back and forth with my pages. Just when I think that they're finished, they're not. Do you do that too? It's it's part of being creative, I guess. We just we can't stop. Sometimes we need to leave things alone, but I needed again to feel like I was pushing back those edges on the collage that I did. So that's how this ended up being in there. I don't think it's finished yet. Oh, now, this was the plan that I have all the lace. The lace caught my eye. And then, before I knew it, those three things were now going to be Gloria's backdrop. I think they looked really good to me when I first did them. And now, as I'm looking at them, I'm like, did I just cover up all that black and white paper? Okay, is it me or does it look like Gloria just had her mouth open saying, "Oh, what did you just do?" Well, my dog is barking again, so I'm gonna put a little music on. I was about to glue this picture of Gloria down, and then I had an idea. I took it over to the sewing machine, which I did not record, but as you can see on the top, I put some fabric and lace and sewed it, zigzagged it down, and then I decided I would put a little embellishment on this envelope. I love to get out my hair dryer, which isn't a hair dryer at all, it's a heating tool, and use that. I made some marks on the corners of the right hand side page with some ink. And now I'm going to clean up, and by cleaning up I mean I'm going to throw it all into my junk basket, and then I'm going to show you both journals. Remember in the beginning I said I'd show you a journal? So this journal I made a little while back, and it is kind of peachy. It's a peachy journal. I experimented with those hook, I don't know what they're called, but they're Tim Holtz things, the closure. So let me just put some pretty music on and let you view this journal. I also needed to fill in some time because those black marks that I made on that last page needed to dry. So I let those dry, and now let me show you the work we did today. Now let's see what we did today in this therapy journal. This is what we did last week, or I did. And I'm going to again put that pretty music on, and then I'm going to sign off and see you in the next one. Thanks for watching and subscribing, and all the new subscribers. It's so exciting, I can't believe it. Thanks for watching till the end.